You Talk family, what's going on? How everybody doing tonight? This is your boy D, and we are coming back with the first episode of You Talk Winning at the Game of Life for 2024. And I have a special guest tonight. I'm not gonna say much, man, because I want her to tell you guys everything. We have a wonderful graphic designer who's gonna come in here and tell you who she is. I want to give a shout out to our super producer, the man himself, Mr. King
KK
Judge.
Production in the building.
This young lady that's coming in tonight, she is a native of Southern California, just like our super producer, Mr. Marquise Judge, where he's from. So I know he's watching the show. Shout out to Marquise Judge, man. It's always a pleasure, brother. I love you. Thank you for everything you do for the show. And without any further ado, I'm going to introduce the young lady tonight who's coming in, and her name is Miss Shawntae Kennebruew. She's from Los Angeles, California. Southern California is in the building. Shawntae, what up? She like the smiling, y'all. She ready to get in. My homegirl says she is ready. I want you guys to come in, show her a lot of love. This is a new friend of You Talk, so let's welcome her to the show. Miss Shawntae Kennebruew is in the building. Yes, yes.
Thank you. Love the introduction. That was awesome. Thank you so much.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. How are you doing on this lovely Friday night, Miss Shawntae?
I'm good. Well, it's nighttime for you. It's early afternoon for me. It's only 5 o'clock here. So
Yes,
I'm doing.
ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. We're gonna get right into it. Cuban Kane, she is here. So you are like you had so many questions for Shawntae. She is in the building. So I
Hi,
want you guys to
Ken.
come with it. Shout out to
Worth
my
the
mother.
wait.
She's in the
Remember,
building. Say it again, Shawntae.
I'm worth the wait.
That's right. That's right. Yes, she is. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat. We love you guys. First show bite. You guys come on in. If you can't catch it right now, definitely go back on the rewatch after the show. Shout out to my mother, Linda English. I'm actually down here in Florida visiting her. We got a family reunion to plan. Shout out to Miss King Yell Frank. Shout out to B Nod is in the building. They go Cuban Kane. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Let's get into it. Miss Kennebrew, let's talk
Yes.
about it. How did you get in to graphic design? But just first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us, like, where you're from, how you grew up, how you got into graphic designing. I'm gonna leave it up to you. The floor is yours. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. Well, born and raised in California, about 22 years ago, I was getting married and looking for wedding invitations. And it wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I figured, you know what, I'm good with the computer. Maybe I can do this myself. It was just like
Hmm.
an afterthought. So when bought some beautiful paper, I designed them and they came out really nice. It shocked me. So after that, I realized that I was getting really good at this and people started to wanted to buy it. And I was like, I can make money off of this too. I can design and make money. So
Right.
from that, it grew into paper is my first love. I do love paper, but I can do banners, flyers, invitations, menus, place cards, anything, digital media. So sometimes people don't want a paper invitation, they have the option of getting a digital invitation. So that could be placed on social media. You could text it, email. So that goes. I think I do a lot of that because a lot of people don't want the paper. It doesn't hurt my feelings too much, but um,
Okay.
yeah. And so during COVID, so what about 4 years ago, I started doing the memorial booklets and the obituaries, and it grew from there because during COVID, if you remember,
Yes.
people were having funerals, so
Yes.
or they were having them online. So that
Yes,
started
ma'am.
my business with the memorial booklet. So that it's like, and I have like samples. So they're pretty big. So they're like magazine style. So I started doing a lot of those, and those were a big hit. Those, I mean, those are that's my biggest seller. But I also realized that that's a ministry for me, and that's where my heart is. I do love paper. I'm always gonna love my paper and the invitations, but to be able to put someone's life in a booklet for their families as a keepsake is that's my ministry, and I always tell people that.
Yes, ma'am. So, like, do you deal with like just families? You deal with like corporations, or Or
Not yet. And that is something that I want to do. I do want to get contracts with corporations. The majority of my work now comes from word of mouth. I do some advertising on social media, but most of my clientele comes from word of mouth. But it is my dream to get contracts with like funeral homes or whomever's, so just so that I could be able to design these obituaries. So
okay,
it's coming.
definitely,
I'm very optimistic about it.
definitely, definitely. Hey, Mr. Cannon, how you doing? If you just joining the show, we got Miss Shawntae Kennebruew. He's Mr. Cannon is from California as well. Mr. Cannon, what part of California you from? He's a big Miami Hurricane fan. He's always watching. She's from California, Mr. Cannon. She's from
Yeah.
where you from, sir? Yes, sir. I don't know what part Mr. Cannon is from, but what's going on, Mr. Cannon? How you doing tonight? But let me ask you a question. Shout out to my little cousin Rakiria Hart. She's in the chat as well. She told me to tell you hello, Miss Kennebrew.
Hello.
Rakiria Hart.
Thank you.
Feel free to call up and talk to her too, niece, if you want to call up and talk to her. She's here, you guys. So the phone number is on the screen, 404-981-3997. If you want to call up and talk to her, we're going to get into it. The next question I have for you is what are some of the steps that you took to create and establish your business and make it stand out from your other competitors?
I have a tagline of let me put your personality on paper. So I usually try to stick by that because that's something that I take very seriously because I want to think outside the box. I want things that are different, things that are unique. I take a lot of classes for like software development. I'm not a graphic designer by like I didn't go to school for it. I'm self-taught is what I was trying to say. So I still take classes, just to keep up my skills in Photoshop and Illustrator. So all the software that I use, but mostly being able to do something that's different and do something that's unique and something that is not like everybody else.
Okay, definitely. And shout out to my co-host, Mr. Larry Frank Jr., who couldn't make it with us tonight. He had to work late. Um, Larry Frank sent me some questions to ask you as well, so I want to get some of his questions in there. He said, "How do you handle the pressure of high demand with multiple projects at one time?" That's a good
I call on family to help me.
one.
So, as a matter of fact, I'm in a high demand situation right now. It's graduation season, so I have a lot of graduation orders. So aside from like the obituaries, I do custom wrap candy. So these are lemon heads. I do these are my Hershey bars. So I have like 3 prom orders going on now. So I can do the design, and I have my mom and my aunt that live with me, so I put them to work. Um,
Okay.
call on who, hey, you want to come over here and help wrap some candy? So I do have people around me that are very supportive of my business and they help me out during crunch time. And I always meet my deadlines.
Oh, that's good. I'm sure you're very busy around like graduation and stuff like that. Like, how many of you do? Because these classes are a lot big. Jesus, you got like 400 and 500 like seniors in a class, so I'm sure that
Right.
can be a bit overwhelming.
It can, but yeah, I manage it as much as I can. So we're in May. So yeah, so between now and maybe the end of June, I know that there are going to be a lot of increase in my orders, but I'm here for it. I'll take it.
I heard that. That's money. I heard that.
Yes.
So, for anyone that's looking to get into graphic design as a business,
Mhm.
what is some of the advice that you would give out?
Definitely uh, know your client base, know the design software because it can be difficult. This would be for the layperson who has not taken a graphic design class. If they've taken a graphic design class, they have a step up from people like me. But ensure that you have to be dedicated. There are times when you get last minute orders. They have to be able to keep up with the trends, know what is that called? There are, I can't think of it right now, but there are seasons for colors, and I think now it's a beige color, and I can't even think of it right now. But keep up with all of the industry trends. Know how to market yourself. Know how to be different. Just
Okay.
it's a lot, and this has taken me years to develop. But it can be a slow start, but just keep up with it.
Okay. And how long have you actually been doing it? Like, when did you get started?
2002. So
2000. Wow.
yeah, it's been a long time, and then over that time, it's just increased to other things. Like I said, the first thing that I started, I just did wedding invitations. That's it. That's all I was focused on. But then I started realizing that I can do other things.
Oh,
So
okay, okay,
I've been doing this for quite some time now.
okay. Are most of your clients like based locally, or do you kind of deal like over like multiple states?
I do have clients that are in different states. The majority of everybody is here in California, but and this is what I always tell them: anything can be shipped. You want something, let's ship it. So
Right.
I've had
Okay.
people in different states. That's why they have the UPS and FedEx stores.
That's right. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Okay, I got a good one for you. This is Larry Frank. He wanted me to ask you this as well. As a
Okay.
black-owned business, what are your thoughts on consumers who may want discounts at the expense of knowing you or feeling black-owned business should do so?
Oh, that's the question of the hour. I have no problem giving discounts, but discounts are at my discretion, not the client's. I will offer it to you. I don't want you to ask me for it. And if you do ask me for it and I'm not inclined to give it, I won't. I do get a lot of that. And hey, sis, you can, can you do, but it's still my business. And things that people don't think about, uh, inventory, the software that I use, that's a monthly service charge. The ink on my printer, my electricity, it's a lot. So I still have to make a profit. So me offering someone a discount is basically me paying them to get my product. But I'm not stingy, and I do offer pro bono work. But this is also my business, and I want them to take me seriously. And on another hand, I want to say this is my home office, so I do a lot of work here, and a lot of people don't take it seriously because I don't have a brick and mortar yet. So because I work from my home, sometimes people don't take that seriously either. But that doesn't matter because you still get a good product. So what difference does it make where it comes from?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Big old Cuban Kane. He told me to ask you, what is the approach towards marketing? What is your approach towards marketing?
I am not a great marketer, but I try to do a lot of posting. I have an Instagram account as well as Facebook. So I post there mostly. I do go around to different businesses and hand out my business cards, but I do need to step up my game on that. I'd probably need like a social media marketing manager. But I also put my information. I have a QR code and I have contact information on everything that I make. So people would be able to get in contact with me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you're just joining the show tonight, we have Miss Shawntae Kennebruew, the CEO and founder of SLK Designs. You're on with You Talk,
It's
man.
you talk, baby.
Shout out to Miss Shawntae Kennebrew. Me and Larry Frank. Am I pronouncing your last name right, Miss Kennebrew? Am I saying it right?
You
Okay.
perfect.
I just wanted to make sure. Okay. All right. Me and Larry Frank, we had the same question, and we definitely you touched on it in your last answer, but I want you to kind of go a little bit deeper. And that was, how did you go about choosing different software and programs? Was that a tough process?
It was because I started off very, very basic. I was using, believe it or not, Microsoft Word and Publisher. Those are not design programs, but that's all that I knew at that time. So until I started realizing that there's Photoshop, there's Illustrator, right now there's Canva. I don't really work in that too much, but I had to teach myself the other software programs just so that I could get better because you can get better elements. You have better color boards. So that was definitely a process. It took me years to learn Photoshop.
Yes. And me too. My producer, he worked because see, I use Canva, and he had to teach me how to because I wasn't computer savvy, and he had to sit down with me and work with me with a lot of different software as well. Because that's why one of the questions that we really wanted to ask you is like, man, that's one of the most difficult things when you're trying to create and market. It's hard when you're not used to doing it, you know. So
Right.
it's one of
And
those things.
yeah, the hardest thing too, if a lot of people give me like inspiration pictures and I don't copy anyone's work, I'll use that as an inspiration and I'll put my own twist to it. So someone comes to me and they say, can you do this? And I'm like, I always tell them, yeah. And then I have to pray to God, like, Lord, you got to help me with this. But it's certain programs that can do certain things just so that I could produce that for my clients.
Yes,
So
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. B Nard, what's going on tonight? B Nard told me to ask you what made her want to step out and start her own business because most 9 to 5, try to keep your feet grounded. That's a great question, Bernard. You are absolutely right. Great question.
Because I have a passion for design. I dream in color. I know that sounds weird, but I see a lot of things in my mind's eye, and I know that I can make it tangible and get paid for it. That's a joy too. But it's just something that I want to do. I have so much in me, and I have a lot of things to create. So, for instance, you were speaking on the design programs. I have, and I don't mind talking about obituaries because I know it's something that's surrounding death, but to me, it's putting the person's life on paper. So I'm very comfortable talking about it. But so we were talking about the design programs, and I had to use a Photoshop. So this young lady, her daughters came to me, and I always like to sit with the families, and they said my mother liked to travel. So the first thing that
Hmm.
popped into my head was I could put a passport in her obituary. I
Right.
gave her a passport. You see that?
Wow. Yes. That's nice. Wow.
So to do things like that, and I remember speaking with that family, and I said, "Oh yeah, I could put a passport." And after they left, I was like, "Can I put a passport?" So, but it's things like that, things that I can produce, things that I can give to these families for them to have a keepsake is what my business is about. So it is definitely a service that I want to provide and get paid for. So it's still
Definitely.
I have to get paid for it.
Most definitely. Most definitely. Shout out to Mr. Ed Thomas. Yes, sir. We do more than just football over here. It's bigger than football, man. Shout out to Mr. Thomas, man. That's my guy. We teach. We speak about business. We speak about um, just networking, connecting. Um, this is the You Talk Winning at the Game of Life tonight. Miss Shawntae Kennebruew. She's
Mhm.
on SLK Design, CEO and founder. Miss Kennebrew, I got a question.
Yes.
What or who inspired you to want to become a graphic designer?
I don't think that there was necessarily a who, but I've always been a computer nerd, always been a nerdy kid, always liked computers. And I found that I could, produce things for, you know what, maybe let's back up. Maybe I am the one who inspired myself. But um, as I stated previously, I have so much in my head, things that are going on that I want to create. I'm going to say that I inspired myself
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
to do things that are different for my clients.
Yes. Okay. Okay. So, when you say that, when it comes to funerals, like I'm sure that's like you say, that's touchy. Like, do you when you sitting with families and when you come up with your ideas, is that something like you say they give you like kind of they tell you who the person is? Like, how long does it normally take for you like to come up with that idea, like to put it on paper? Do you like need a couple of days just to kind of get your thoughts together? How does that normally come about?
I do. I have an order form, so there are certain things that they have to fill out in that order form. So I'll, take that. I'll also speak to them, and I, like to hear stories about them so that I can pick up different elements so that I can place in there. So it could take me anywhere from a day or two. I have to sit and pray about it, and then it comes to me. So it's just
Yeah.
things that are. I want to say that there are instilled in me through God because he brings me my creativity through my dreams. So I'll think about it, get my concept together. I go to sleep. I wake up and I have my design, and then I'm ready to produce it. And every time he gives me something in my dream, I produce it exactly the way that he gave it to me.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. You're on live with Miss Shawntae Kennebrew. You're on live. If you want to call up and talk to her, the telephone number is 404-981-3997. This is the CEO and founder of SLK Designs. You on live tonight. We on live. You talk winning at the game of life. Miss Kennebrew, what can make or break you in the graphic design business?
Not knowing what I'm doing. Um, so not knowing what I'm doing, not responding to clients immediately, not caring about uh, why I'm here, and there's got to be one more. I would say rushing through just to get the job done.
Gotcha.
That's
Gotcha. Gotcha. I like that. Okay. Okay. What is your hope for a lasting legacy of your design company?
I want people to remember me and remember my business and the things that I do because it's different. I want them to
Sure.
say, okay, SLK Design, she did such and such, or she did this, because it has to be unique touches that are different. So I have another sample to show you. I
Yes.
had to, this was part of a project for an event planner, and her theme was rustic. So she wanted me to create a rustic invitation. And the invitation that I created I, was made out of wood.
Hmm. That's nice.
So
That's
things
nice.
that's different. Well, to me, that's different.
It
So
is different.
yeah, I just want to, you know, be known for being different. One more sample, and then I'm going to leave you alone. This
No, I
gentleman,
want to show your work. Tell me what
he
you
had
want to say.
he had his 60th birthday. He was a minister of music. He loved music. Favorite color was purple, but on the back, he loved music so much. This was back in the day when people had CDs. I did a CD that looked like an album. So
Okay. Okay.
right, it's a CD and it looks like a vinyl album. So I remember his daughter asked for these invitations, so I said, give me about 12 or 13 of his favorite songs. So she gave me his songs and I put them on a CD. So that was a nice little surprise for people to get a keepsake inside of the invitation.
That is- so how long does it take you to do something like that?
Oh, I think this order took me quite some time because it was a lot of different layers of getting everything done. So okay, so I'm looking at this. This was 2015, so that's when CDs
Okay.
were popular. I know people don't use CDs anymore, but it was still something different. So yeah,
Yeah.
it takes a lot of time because I have to do a lot of things in different layers.
Oh, okay. Okay. Is is what you do something you would recommend to others who may not know what they want to do?
I would say yes, in the sense that because this is the graphic design is your own creativity. You're not copying off anyone else. You're doing your own thing. So if this is something that someone can grasp and they have the desire to be creative, I would say yes.
Okay. Okay. And let's just say somebody that wanted to get into graphic design and like what type of like what's like the first step or like what advice would you give them like to go into it?
First step would be to, I would say, learn the design software. I would say that has to be first, and you better like computers. Because
Yeah.
yeah, you better and know the ins and outs of computers, and yeah, definitely know the software, because if you don't, you're going to be lost. And
Okay.
knowing that software and knowing what you're doing is going to help you meet those deadlines. Because I'm going to say, for instance, last night I got a message 8:30 at night. Someone needed an emergency design. So okay, got up out of my bed and I was able to do it. Uh, you do get a lot of last minute orders, but what I'm saying is definitely know the software so that you'll be able to handle bulk orders, so that you'll be able to handle the last minute orders and the exceptionally unique orders. So yeah, software absolutely first.
So when those last minute orders like that come in, like so when somebody giving you an idea, are you pretty much just running like you cooking, trying to figure out like okay, you trying to visualize it as soon as they come in with it, and you trying to just get to it and go, huh?
Right. And sometimes it comes right away, sometimes it doesn't.
Yeah.
Sometimes I have to like take a step back and think about it, but sometimes it comes right away. So when I do get design block, I just have to like step away from it for a moment, think about it, and then come back to it.
Okay. So like, what's like the fastest time somebody has ever asked you to do something like that? Like, we get a phone call, are they saying like, Shantae, I need something like in 2 days, or I
Ooh,
mean,
I
can you
get
make? Is it? You know what I'm saying?
if I have the supplies and I have everything, I'll do it. And that's the thing. If I have everything on hand, I'll do it. Mind you, I work full time
Okay.
too, so plenty of nights where I'm up in the middle of the night.
Okay. Okay. That because I mean, just the last minute thing, trying to trying to get those that type of stuff together. I'm sure it can be like time consuming. It's like you say, you work too, so that's
And my
wow.
thing
That
is,
can be
weeks ago you were having this party. Why are you coming to me now?
right, right. But I'm sure, like you say, you make it happen though. Like you like you say, you're not turning no work away though. So I heard it. I heard it.
Get right.
You're on tonight. Miss Shawntae Kennebruew, she's here. SLK Designs is in the building. Telephone number 404-981-3997. If you want to talk to this young lady, man, if you have any questions, the lines are open. Feel free to call up. If y'all ain't gonna call, I'm gonna keep on asking questions. Because I've been trying to get her on for the longest, and she told me yes, she was coming on. She
Oh,
has first show of 2024. And again, I want to say thank you for coming on. I appreciate you. You already know. Thank you.
thank you. I really appreciate it.
So let me ask you this: is there ever a time where you don't provide service? If so, what brings that on?
I'm going to say people being rude. I found that sometimes when people pay you to provide a service, they think that they could be rude or condescending to you. I don't play that. And I've sent people their money back a few times.
Yeah.
So that I don't take because I want to provide a service and I want to do the right thing and I want to help you. But I have a big thing about respect.
Hold the line, caller. Hold the line, caller. Yes, but go ahead, Shantae. I'm sorry, we got a
Yeah,
caller that's
so
gonna
I just have
want to talk to you.
big thing about respect. So there are times, and it could be difficult, and naturally I want to help everybody, but I also know how to say no as well.
Yes, ma'am. Caller, you on with you talk? State your name and where you calling from.
Utah, man. This is Benny Barrett, man. ATL, Georgia. Right now, I'm currently in Florida, man. Back home in the Sunshine State, man.
Benny Barrett, what's going on? What's going on? You on the line tonight with Miss Shawntae Kennebruew, CEO and founder of SLK Design. You got some for her tonight? Talk to her.
I got a little bit for me. I caught bits and pieces of it, man. I'm out here getting ready for my niece's graduation from HBCU. We're doing cooking. Shout out to Benai
Congratulations.
Bond. Yeah,
Oh,
big time. Um, Now, question about the design. Now, when you do, or basically, how long does it take you to make something like, let's say, if I want to get a set of shirts and I need them, let me say I give you a month in advance notice on that. How long does that run? And how crowded can the shirt be? Or do you give your advice on that when someone gives you the design? Say, hey, I want this, I want that, I want that, or you kind of go and try to make it work for the customer.
well, I don't design shirts. I don't have a heat press, but I could probably do the image that could be given to the shirt maker. So if
Yeah.
someone gave me a month's notice, I can do that. That's not a problem. Most of the time, design concepts from people are not that hard. Uh, Only thing that I would say that would be challenging is if you have a design concept and we have to keep doing revisions. So that can be a little bit frustrating on both ends, but it's always my goal to try to get it right. But I could definitely get something done in a month. I
Okay.
wish people
What was your
would
biggest fear?
in a month.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that'd be too much like right. That'd be too much like right. We all know that. What was your biggest fear stepping out on your own to say, you know what? I heard the part where you say, you know what? Can I make money off this? You know what? I'm gonna do this. And when you finally went out there, what were some of your shortcomings and some of the lessons that you might have learned that you say you can give? What would you say to your young self?
Oh, my young self.
Good question.
What I find challenging is being a woman and being a graphic designer because I think it is I don't want to say a man's industry, but I think there are probably a lot more men graphic designers than women. And then again, being a person of color can be a challenge because if you're communicating with someone via email, they don't know what Shawntae Kennebruew looks like, but meeting them in person, you see the furrowed eyebrows and everything. So um, mm, that can be a bit challenging. But so I dismiss all of that because I always say that my work speaks for itself.
Wow, excellent, excellent. Have you ever been in a deal, like you say, the person hasn't met you or doesn't know you from Adam, and they come across you, or y'all somehow link up face to face, and they see who you are, and they back out the deal? And if so, how did that make you feel?
It made me feel bad. The reason why that particular person backed out is because I work from home. She just was not really accepting that I didn't have a store, so to speak. She was referred to by another client, and it's like, well, you saw that client's. It was a graduation announcement, as a matter of fact. You saw the graduation announcement. You didn't look at that and said, "Hey, that came out of a house." You looked at that and said, "Hey, who did it?" So she decided that she didn't want to use my services because I have a home office. So I felt badly about it, but there's always another client.
There you go. There you go. Well, salute to you. I ain't gonna hold up the line. I just want to give you a shout out, give you flowers. Hey, I enjoyed you. And what part of California you from again?
I am in Southern California. I'm about an hour outside of Los Angeles.
Okay, I'm familiar with LA. My wife is from Oakland. So.
Okay, yes.
Okay.
Born and raised California girl.
Yeah, y'all Cali folks, y'all like to stick together. That's for sure.
Yes, we do. That's what we do.
All right. We look. Thank you for your time. You have a wonderful evening and a great weekend.
You as well, and congratulations to your niece.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Benny Bear. Thank you.
All right, Dick.
All righty.
It's you talk, baby.
Great call. Great call. Shawntae, you got a friend I think that's in this in the chat. Miss Rochelle Howard.
Yes.
Hey,
that is my bestie, and I call her Puka Shell.
Oh, Puka Shell, what up? Puka Shell, what up? Puka Shell in the building. Shout out to Puka Shell. She told me to say that, Rochelle. No, I said Miss Howard. She told me your nickname. I didn't know that, Miss Howard.
That's my nickname for her. Only I can call her that. Yes.
Mr. Thompson. Mr. Ed Thompson say, Miss Shawntae sounds passionate and knowledgeable. 2 ingredients for success. Yes.
Thank you so much. Thank you for that. I really appreciate it. I'm definitely passionate about this. This is what I live for. It really is.
That's what's up. Shout out to Marine E. 29 Palms, California. You know something about that?
I know exactly where that is.
Where? Okay. You hear Marine E? She said she know where it's at.
I know where that's at.
That's what's up. Miss Howard, I got you. What's up, Miss Howard? Thanks for joining us today. We got another caller coming in, Miss Kennebruew.
Okay.
Oh, this is a 310 number. This is Cali.
This is Cali.
You over Utah. Call us, state your name and where you calling from.
Hi, yes, I'm calling to ask a quick question of Shawntae.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Have at it. What's your name, sweetie?
Hi, my name is Raquel White.
Miss White, how you doing?
Fine, yourself?
Yes,
I'm
ma'am.
also from California, so I'm rooting for Shawntae for sure.
Oh, for sure. Let's go.
Yes. So my question to Shawntae is, how important are LLCs in establishing your company, or do you need one or not necessarily need one? What would be her advice on something of that nature?
So with that, there's a difference between like LLCs and corporations. So a person would have to decide which lane they would have to, which is better for them. I think an LLC is more for bigger corporations. I'm not that big yet being the operative word. So when I am, I will become an LLC, because with that, that's going to give you your backing for giving you the ability to get bigger contracts. I want to do corporate. I want to do everything across the board. And what a lot of people don't realize is graphic designs are needed everywhere. Think about it. You go to restaurants, you need menus. You go, it's like I said, it's prom season, you get banners. But let's speak corporately. People need plaques designed for like employee appreciation. Look, now I can't think, but it's definitely useful in the corporate world. So with that, you need your LLC so that you can be I don't want to say noticeable, but legitimate. That's the word I was looking for.
Hi, yes, you had said earlier that you don't do corporate things, and I do remember on your accounts that you did do something for a hospital in the private sector. So,
I did.
how did you get that contract?
So that was a former hospital that I worked for a few years back, and they were having an employee appreciation and for employee of the month. So it was from January through July of 2023, and each of those employees were getting a 36 chip bags. So whatever 36 times 7 is, I made over 200 chip bags for that hospital, and that was an all-nighter. But it was totally worth it. So the company ended up sending me their logo. So I was able to put the logo on there, and they sent me every employee's face. So all of the employees had their face on their own chip bags for employee appreciation. So that was a nice big.
Okay, so you do and you have done corporate. So I just remember that from your website, and I just wanted to, tell you that I did see that, and you have dived in those waters. So if corporations were to reach out, you can have that in your repertoire, correct?
I absolutely can. And I am of the mindset that I can do anything. So yes, ma'am, I definitely can delve into the private sector, a corporate sector.
Yes, because private sector is where the money is at, and you wouldn't turn anything down. So I hope that in the future, your business takes off and in the direction that you wanted to go, and that you have employees. I'm really proud of you, and thanks for taking my question.
Thank you very much. God bless you.
God bless you.
Wow, this is beautiful. Thank you,
Yes.
ma'am.
You're welcome.
All right,
Have
you
a
have a
nice
great night.
one.
You too, sweetheart. Thank
To you
you.
as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Wow.
It's you talk, baby.
I
Yes.
love it. Keep it coming. Keep it coming.
Yes.
That's why I wanted her to come on. It's her show. Keep it coming. Y'all know how these You Talk Winning at the Game of Life shows are. Like I say, we promote business, entrepreneurship,
Mm-hmm.
networking, connecting, man. That's what it's all about, man. We have Miss Shawntae Kennebruew on the line with us tonight. She is the CEO and founder of SLK Designs. Miss Kennebrew, I got one for you. Being in graphic design, does that come with a lot of competitors for you?
Yes, it does, but I don't necessarily think about that because I have to stay in my own lane, and I know my strengths and weaknesses, and I carry myself in the sense that I could do anything. So, and I know that I've most likely lost bids to other people, but I still do what I can. So,
Yes,
but it
ma'am.
is very competitive because, as I stated earlier, every industry needs a graphic designer for something.
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Right?
ma'am.
Even your you talk logo, somebody had to make that, right?
Yes. Actually, the guy that's in here, Mr. Bernard, that you see in the in the chat.
So
Shout
yeah,
out
so
to
they're
Joseph Bernard.
awesome job, and it has my favorite color in there. I do love orange. So, but yeah, there are competitors out there. So it's just I think that would be for me to in order to get a client aside from my product. I think it also has to be me in the way that I present myself to that client. And I
Yes,
do
ma'am.
win a lot of people over with my personality.
Yes, ma'am. California, there it is. There she go, y'all. I came. James Raw got a question for you. He said, at Shante, off topic for a second. Do you watch college football? And if so, what team do you like? Say Miami Hurricanes, son.
No, but I hope we can still be friends.
You say what?
No, I don't watch college football, but I hope he and I can still be friends.
Yeah, that's what's up. You Hurricanes. Well, she do not watch college football. No, she don't. I got a good one for you. So if it's something that you're not doing right now in graphic design, is there something that you would like to like maybe in the future venture over to, like doing something else, like to take it to another level, like what you're not doing right now? Is there anything else?
Oh, that's a good one. Let's see. Hmm. I have to think about that. That's a great question because it's graphic design is vast and it's always like evolving. So I have to think about what I want to. Oh, I know what I would like to do, and I did it a little bit before because I used to host parties. I would like to do like personalized cups and plates because I
Okay.
think that is really unique. Whether it's an adult party or a kid party, and I always found that people like to see things that are personalized. People like to see things with their name on it. People like to see things with their picture on it. So I
Mhm.
probably would like to do some of that. Yeah, the personalized
Okay.
cups and plates.
Okay. And you said that you used to host parties. You said.
Yes. My cousin and I, we hosted something called a chocolate party. So every year we did that for like 13 years straight. And then COVID, doggone COVID. So with that, I did a lot of personalized items that, oh, those parties. Yeah. I'm trying to, oh my gosh. Yeah. And I thought my graphic designs came in handy there too. So
Okay. And when COVID hit, how did that affect you? Did that affect you in how bad did that affect your business? Did it or did it at all?
that's when my obituary business blew up. So that helped me. And I don't want to say it that way, but that's when it increased sales of my obituaries, and that made me be more creative because I haven't not repeated the same design twice. So,
Okay. Okay.
so it's always
Shout out to
different.
Miss
Yeah,
Howard said best parties ever.
yeah, she attended a few. So, but
Oh,
yes,
okay.
actually it increased business for me, and since I don't repeat myself, if you're always constantly trying to like one up yourself and always thinking, always designing, it keeps you up at night sometimes, but it's what I live for.
Okay. Is there ever a time when there are just too many projects? Do you say like, okay, I got to cut off like maybe at five and complete? How do you kind of gauge that? Like on how much can you do? I mean, working like you say full time as well, and then doing this as well.
Well, if it's something that's easy, if it's a small project, I'll take it. But if it's like now, I have a bulk projects to do, and like if someone comes to me now with a last minute project, I'm not going to be able to take that on because of the projects that I have in queue right now. So if I can, I will, but I can't overextend myself because I am one person. Because I do the
Okay.
designing, the assembly part, I can get people to do, but I'm the only designer. So, but if it's something that I can't handle, I would totally be honest with the client and say that is something that I can't do.
Okay. What would you say in the next 5 years? What would you like to see SLK designs in the next
Uh,
5 years?
In the next 5 years, I will be out of this office, although I love it,
Hmm.
and I would have my own design studio. And that is something that I will be doing full time. I want to quit my job and I want to do this full time. And I want to have a staff and I want to do more marketing. I just want to be able to focus on this solely and this be my SLK designs will be my 100%. So that's what I want to see in 5 years or less.
Okay. How many employees you visualize having? Whenever you get there, you wanna.
Probably about 10. And I was even talking to my brother the other day. He already told me he's going to be my delivery driver. And he already said my van is going to have my logo and everything. So he's designed my van for me already. So he already told me
Okay.
delivery driver. So, but probably about 10. I think that would be like a pretty sustainable business, having everybody there, everybody doing what they want. And also, so even with, if you have like that many employees, I would be able to take on the last minute orders. I will be able to have like a 24-hour turnaround. I want equipment. I want everything. So I have a few printers here, but my goal is to get this huge printer because I want to be a design and print shop. Some of my print jobs now I have to outsource because I don't have it, but I'm going to do everything. I'm going to have all of it.
Okay. And another question I had, I'm sure it's not cheap. Like, is that software expensive and those computers and stuff that you have to make that stuff? I'm sure it's kind of pricey, right?
It is
That's the
not
people
cheap.
that's looking to think about going into it.
It is not cheap. It really isn't. It's expensive. Uh,
Yes, ma'am.
it pays for itself, of course, if you have like continuous clients, but it's if you want top of the line. You need the processors in your computer to be fast enough. You need enough space for it to hold all of the software. Otherwise, your computer's going to run slow. So yeah, it's expensive, but it's worth it. But
Yes,
build up
ma'am.
slowly. I wouldn't advise anyone to go out to get any expensive equipment if they don't have the clientele to support that. So start off slowly. It's okay.
Okay. Where that's like certain things that you kind of like started off with first, like certain designs. You say I'm gonna attack this first, and then I go. You kind of like learned yourself to go to the next thing. Like, what did you start off doing, and then you kind of like gradually like went forward as you got better at what you was doing. Can
I
you kind of
started
talk
off
about that a little bit?
yeah, I started off with the my paper invitations, and so I had like one type of printer, and then I have invitations where I add people's pictures. But with the pictures, you can't use a regular printer for that, and paper matters, believe it or not. So you have to get a photo printer because a photo printer can print on glossy paper. So I have like 4 different types of printers because each does something different. I have it right now. I'm on my desktop, but I also have a laptop because I need the laptop because I'm mobile. So there are certain pieces of equipment. There are certain software that you need in order to get the job done. You can use
Yes, ma'am.
Photoshop. You can also use Illustrator. You can use Canva to make one project because you need elements from each software.
Yes, ma'am.
So
B
it's a
Nard
lot.
told. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Miss Kennebruew. I'm sorry. What you
No, I
say?
was just saying it's a lot to take on.
Oh, okay. Okay. B Nard told me to ask you, what printers do you like to have?
The one that I have now is this is a Canon. This one's new. I just bought it. I had an Okidata. I have been an Okidata girl for 20 something years. It finally died, and I couldn't get another one because they actually stopped producing in United States. So that hurt my feelings. So I'm using this Canon. I've had this one for about 3 months. We'll see. Time will tell.
Okay. And when we're talking about like different papers and stuff like that that you have to use, you also consider that in the price as well because that kind of changes the price if they want glossy and stuff like that.
Absolutely. Yes, because there's you can of course you can have plain paper, depends on the weight of the paper if it's thick or not. Cardstock. There's metallic paper. There's paper
Hmm.
that you can I do foiling too, which adds an extra shine to it. So all of those are upgrades, and all of those you will be charged for.
And the size too, right? Like the height and size
Yes,
of it as well, right? That plays a part.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
So then you have to have different
Definitely.
types of paper cutters and different sized envelopes, and it's a lot. And people think, oh, you just go in the room, you put it together, and you come out.
Right.
I spend hours in here. So
I bet.
yeah,
I bet. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. If you're just tuning in again, I'm gonna say it again. She is here, highly anticipated Miss Shawntae Kennebruew. She is the CEO and founder of SLK Designs. She is on U Talk live with us tonight. And again, Miss Kennebrew, I want to say thank you because, like I said, I've been trying to get you for a whole year, and I was like, man, she says she's coming.
no,
Thank you. We really appreciate you so much,
thank
Miss
you.
Michelle Howard. She says it's a very complex process.
It is just thinking about everything and putting everything together and knowing the items needed. So I have like some specialty invitations. Does that mean that they're going to have ribbon on it? Is it going to have rhinestones on it? Do you use double-sided tape or do you use glue? It's it's things that people don't think about. They just see it or they say, it's just paper. And to me, it's not just paper. It's so
Hmm.
much. It really
Hmm.
is.
And not only do you do your own stuff, you do your own deliveries as well too. You have to deliver and take them to the customers as well. I mean, I'm sure that's like, man, that's a whole nother monster in itself.
Right. Exactly.
Bernard said the Roland BN20 is a nice printer. Are you familiar with that?
I am not, but I'm going to write that down real quick so I can look it up.
And you probably need to touch base with him because he's a designer too, so he's
Okay.
good, very good. Yes, ma'am. I
Okay.
email you his I send you his email after the show so y'all
Right
can
on.
link up and everything. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you.
Shout out to my cousin Sherry Lewis is in the building. My cousin Sherry, how you doing, sweetness?
I
What's going on?
share.
She told me to ask you, how do you measure the success of your designs? Great question, cuz.
That is a great question. So that depends on everything that all of the information that I get on my order forms, and I try to make it tangible for the clients. And I find that I can see things in my mind eye, and I realize the majority of my clients can't. So them writing something down, I need something blue with purple stripes. I'm just making that up. I better make that look good, because sometimes they get it and they're like, "Oh no, that's not what I'm thinking." So I have to be proactive and think ahead and try to design exactly what they're thinking of. So the success of that is making my clients happy. No matter, I wouldn't say no matter how many revisions, because they're only allowed 3 revisions before I charge them a
That's what I
design.
was about to. Yeah, do you charge for
They
extra
get
revision?
3.
Okay.
They get 3. Because I found, and I had to learn that because I was doing revision after revision after revision. So everything's written in the contract. You get a first draft and you get 3 revisions. After that, it's X amount of dollars per revision. So I would say
Right.
that the success of that is meeting the client's needs and getting them exactly what they want.
Okay. And learning the software, is that something you had to take a class for? Or did you just kind of just train yourself to learn like all of your electronics and stuff like that? What you do, your computers
Uh,
and your.
I learned most of it myself, and I've always been into computers ever since I was a kid. So, I mean, I've always loved computers, but a lot of the software, YouTube. I went to YouTube University.
Okay, me too. And that's what Joseph Bernard tells me, like, because he know I don't know anything. Like go to YouTube first. So when we start talking, you can kind of familiarize yourself with what I'm gonna be saying to you. So yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
And I'm a visual person, so watching the videos and then attempting that myself is fine. So if someone sits and try to explain something to me, that's going to go over my head. So I need to see it. So yeah, I take like workshops, and I try to keep up on my skill set. So I'm always doing something just to make sure I'm on
Okay.
top of everything.
That's a good point. Like, so that's something that kind of changes too. Like, as you do it, like the software and everything, you kind of keep yourself up to date. I got you. Okay.
Right.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
every time
Well,
the software upgrades, you upgrade.
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. That's what's
Hmm.
up. Listen, man,
Yes.
I don't. It's almost coming into an hour. I
Okay.
don't want to keep you too long, man. I appreciate you coming on, and
Thank you.
we really, really, really enjoyed you. And like I said, please definitely don't be a stranger. I want you, if you would,
Absolutely.
please give everybody your social media handles so they can go and find you if they would like to use your services.
Of
And
course.
I'm gonna put you in touch with Joseph Bernard after the show. I'm gonna forward you his information because he's a great graphic designer as well. So
Good. Thank you so much. So my name is Shawntae Kennebruew. My Instagram is SLK Designs, and which would be my initials. So SLK Designs on Instagram. So follow me. Check out my stuff.
that's what's up. My Miss Kennebrew. On this show, when I end the show, I ask all of my guests, man, to do something with me. I know you ain't into football, but we
Hmm.
still close out a certain type of way.
Okay.
And it's just a little slogan. I want you just to throw it up with me whenever I get to the end. I just want you to do this for me. And then
Okay.
we're going to close the show out. So I want to tell everybody, all the paid subscribers, man, thank you guys from that's my co-host, Mr. Larry Frank Jr. Just shout out and salute and continue success on your business blessings upon blessings.
Thank you
Man, that's
so
my
much.
co-host.
Really appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, listen, you guys, thank you for tuning in. We appreciate you guys. We love you. Everybody have a safe weekend. And again, you were tuned in tonight with Miss Shawntae Kennebruew of SLK Designs. Please go and check her out. Her stuff is all over my social media, and I'm gonna put the stuff on the website as well. So you guys, if you need her information, contact her. She's gonna look out for you. So we love you guys. Thank you to all the paid subscribers. I appreciate you guys for supporting me. I love you guys. You guys show nothing but love, either on whether it's the football side or the Utah winning the game of life. Thank you. We're going to be bringing you a lot more of these shows. So, y'all know how we start every show, and y'all know how we end every show. It ain't no us. Miss Kennebrew, throw it up for me. Without you, baby. And we
You.
out. Take care. We love you guys. Stay safe. It's Utah. Everybody take care of yourself. Miss
Thank
Kennebrew,
you.
I'll get with you right after the show and get you that
Absolutely.
information. All
Wonderful. Thank
righty.
you. Okay.
Thank
Bye.
you.
It's you talk, baby.